Hello and welcome to Down the Track. Today we will be discussing the third Test match at Sydney, India vs Australia. Particularly Day 5. What a Test match! India pull off the great escape. Unbelievable. I have with me my host, Mr. Abraziz. How are you doing, man?
Oh, I'm over the moon. What a performance by the lads. Absolutely
Wow.
incredible. Absolutely incredible.
I
Hats
mean,
off.
I mean, the day 5 started with Rishabh Pant pushing the pedal to the metal, and then Vihari and Ashwin came and pulled the handbrake. Man, that was just.
Absolutely.
Um, uh, I mean,
Well,
if you just want to sorry to interrupt you, but if you just want to walk me through like just day 5, what were you thinking? The approach between like how Pant and Pujara started. Do you think that was the perfect way to tackle Australia? Because one guy was just sitting there, and the other guy was actually putting pressure on them to spread the field, and actually they were kind of concerned when even like when he was on 20-30 when he hit a couple of sixes of Lion.
yeah, the day started off with me really worried because the moment I like the first second over when Ajinkya
Yeah.
went, I was like, oh my god, this is going to be a quick end or something of the sort. And then Punt came in, and I've been critical of Punt ever since, and you know this about
Mhm.
Punt. But when credit is due, I have to give it to him. He was phenomenal. He was so good today. He deserved 100. Poor guy, he got out 3 runs short. Unfortunate for him, but hats off to the lad. He's under criticism as well. Like he dropped a couple of catches. A lot of people are criticizing him. I myself have been critical of his wicket keeping as well. But with that kind of a performance, you stake a claim in this team every single day. I mean, that's the kind of performance that he's put out there. Hats off to him. Very well done. I joked around it as well. I read it somewhere in Twitter, but I joked around about it as well. Somewhere in between Punt and Pujara lied perfect intent, and that is kind of how they kind of worked around with each other very well. I thought Pujara. You know how big a fan of Pujara I have been. You are absolutely right. We've talked about this offline as well, where he needs to work the singles around a little bit, and then maybe he needs to improve that side of his game. But on a day 5 when you're trying to save a test match, he's your kind of guy. He's probably your first guy you want to go to is Puji when he's in that kind of form. And both of them complemented each other very well. And even Pujara, like whenever he getting a bad ball, he was hitting those fours, he was trying to take those singles. He was phenomenal as well. I think Rishabh Pant stole the show, but I think Puji was phenomenal as well. That kind of intent, that kind of uh, showman, the batsmanship that they showed was quite phenomenal. And then, man, both of them get out in relatively quick succession,
Yeah,
and then you
but
have
just
you
to
have
cut you there, sorry, because you admitted about Pant, I'll also admit about Pujara. I think like I was a bit too harsh on him in the first innings,
yeah,
but I think what I wanted to see, I saw it in the second innings. Even though the
yeah,
strike rate might have not been high, and you were also right. You said that the other batsmen need to bat around him, which Pant did. But
yeah,
also, I felt that he was actually rotating the strike more, and I mean, he was hitting the boundaries. If you notice after Pant got out, I know you were just coming
yeah.
onto that. He hit Cummins for 3 fours.
Correct.
And that's not to say like I'm not expecting him to hit so many boundaries. I'm just expecting him to rotate the strike. But he showed that intent in the second innings, which I
And
think
the
in the
new
first
ball
innings
as
was
well.
missing.
That was a third fourth over of the new ball.
Yeah,
So
and
he
that's
showed
what I
some
mean.
real
When the
intent.
player is set, he needs to take the attack. Like he can rotate the strike. I'm not saying hit boundaries, but when he's set, like he needs to start scoring. I'm not saying like he needs to hit like sixes every over, but he needs to start scoring, and that's exactly what he did in the second innings. So
Yeah,
even though like I think I was also wrong, like a bit too harsh on him, but I felt that this approach was even better. Even though he probably played the same amount of balls, but you
yeah.
can see that
Same.
intent there.
Yeah.
Hitting Cummins for 3 fours, I think that also like told Australia that it's not over,
Yep.
even though Pant is out.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's exactly what it was. And when Pujic got out, I was very very worried,
Yeah.
because I mean, he was the kind of guy, and it wasn't even T. So I expected them to go until T and then manage salvage a draw from there, but it wasn't even T. There were few overs left before T as well. So I was very worried when Puji got out, and then in walks Vihari and Ashwin, and we all know Ashwin's the kind of he's a batsman. He knows how to play shots. He's no mug with the bat, right? I think a lot can be said about the likes of Bumrah, Siraj, and Saini are probably not up to the mark with the bat, of course, because they are top line bowlers, and our tail has always struggled to even score about 20-40 runs as well. We've always seen them like the last 4 5 wickets go for
Seriously.
like 20-30 runs, and that's the worry that I had. But Ashwin dug in, he stuck it out, he got a few blows here and there, and he still played absolutely incredibly. And Vihari, he wasn't able to walk, he wasn't able to run, and he was just persistent. He was just keeping handling his wicket, maintaining his wicket for a long time. I think he was just in single digit scores, and I think he played over 100 balls for like 7 8 runs or something of
Yeah.
the sort, right? So
It was like a
very
double-edged sword for me. I think like if he was fit, they might have even won the game because
yeah.
there's like 40 singles which were like they had to refuse it because he couldn't run.
He couldn't run.
But
Yep.
at the same time, there could have been a run out if he was fully fit. There could have been a run out. He could have gone for one shot too many and got out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it could have been a, I wouldn't say blessing in disguise, but it, like, it worked out for India in the end. That's all I'm.
Absolutely, and I think after a point you just have to decide if you want to go for the game or if you want to go for the draw. When Punt and Puji were playing, I thought that they were actually thinking about a win. There was
Yeah.
somewhere in behind, at least in Punt's mind, there was something about a victory coming out of there.
100%.
Yeah, because of the way he was going, and even I started to believe that maybe there's a win out of there.
Yeah.
And then the moment he got out, I was like, shit. And then Puji started scoring, and I was like, wow, maybe there's still that hope.
Yeah.
But then he got out, and then Vihari got injured, and then at that time, I was just like, you know what, you need to save this game because
But
you know
that could
about
have
the
been
tail.
dangerous as well. That, when you go shut up shop, they shut
Yep,
up shop after tea.
yep,
Two
absolutely,
hours they shut up shop, right? Like they closed the
absolutely.
shutters. Everything was so. But that's a very dangerous approach on a day five wicket in Australia. But it just shows that it's about technique as well. Yes, I think a bit of luck here and there, but I think the technique and the concentration, like these two batsmen had, was sublime because it's not easy. Like I've seen a lot of India in the past also trying to survive on day five, like defending, and you get out.
Yeah, absolutely. They show a lot of character. I mean, everything was stacked up against India. There were all these injuries. There were all these stuff. In even the two batsmen who were batting, Ashwin took a couple of blows. Vihari pulled his hamstring. I mean, he wasn't even able to run or anything.
Yeah.
And everything was against. And that even after
And
all of that,
Jadeja is
through the
also injured,
pain,
so coming
yeah,
back,
yeah.
coming
So he
in,
would have, yeah, exactly.
yeah,
It would have been hard for him as well. So. I mean, everything was stacked up against them, and they showed a lot of character. They showed a lot of intent. They showed a lot of I mean, true. It's admirable to see this kind of a performance by the lads. It's just so happy to see that, and
yeah.
I'm at loss of words. I'm just so
Yeah,
happy
I
with the
mean, like,
performance.
I think it's an unbelievable result. I have two more points I want to talk about, like
Yeah,
in
for sure.
in a bit detail with you. One is the umpiring. We saw, if you remember, in Sydney in 2008. I think we talked about this as well. That infamous Test match
Yeah,
where that Simons and Harbhajan fight happened. In that
yeah,
Test match, Michael Clark came, bowled those
yeah,
that over, got 3 wickets. There's a lot of umpiring decisions that went against India, like that Simon's catch. I think
yeah,
Ponting as well. That
yeah,
that that catch he took, and it wasn't a catch. One of the appeals, Gilchrist. Like there's a lot of bad calls over
yeah,
here in the second innings. India overturned 5 reviews, so
yeah.
they were given out 5 times and things. So thank God for DRS and your word on the umpiring.
I mean, the umpiring has been abysmal for a while now. I just don't understand how this can continue to go on. It's been a couple of years. I mean, the umpiring has been bad since 2008. Even those decisions have been bad. So like
Yeah.
it's
So
it's been
thank God
bad.
for
There has been
DRS basically.
absolutely. I agree 100%. I mean, and the
Even though
DRS
it is
has
like there is some controversy in technology sometimes, but still thank God for it.
but
Like,
with the way there is the VAR issue, which is a whole different issue. But the
yeah,
DRS has figured it out. They at least 99.9% of the time they are right, which is what you want. You of course you're going to get a couple of howlers every now and again, and that you're going to have to deal with that with technology. Sometimes
yeah.
just you can't avoid that. But for the most part, it's been absolutely incredible. These kind of decisions on day five, when you really need it, it could have been very easily over for them because of some of the bad decisions. But it is what it is, right? It is what it is, and thank God for the DRS for sure, 100%.
Yeah, I think there were some like shocking decisions which were overturned because you need to be really wrong for it to be overturned with impact and all that. So there were
Yep.
5 like wrong decisions. But moving on, Tim Payne said, I think he sledged Ashwin, saying that at least my teammates like me. But after dropping those 3 catches, which probably cost them the win, do you think his teammates still like him?
Well, there's,
Because to
there's
be
a
honest,
lot.
Australia bowled really well.
They did.
I expected them to finish off the match, but I think credit to India for showing the resilience, but also dropped catches, man, especially from the
Fortune favors
captain.
the brave. Fortune favors the brave.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. I mean, Punt was lucky. There's no doubt about it, but he played an absolutely incredible innings. So you can't take anything away from that.
Yeah, yeah, hundred
And
percent.
there were two chances of Leon that he of Lion that he dropped, and then he of course dropped
Yeah,
one more as well of Ashwin. I think it was, and that was they still had time. Even if you would
I
have
think.
taken just the Ashwin
Yeah,
catch,
yeah, it was
they
Vihari,
had
I think, but I don't remember. But yeah, I think it was one of them. But you're right. There's 9 overs left.
yeah, exactly. So there was some time left, and you know how the Indian tail is. We all know that and like they could have very easily. Maybe yes, of course, Jaddu was still available, but it could have still been very interesting if that catch would have been if he would have held on to it, and he could have left it for first slip. I don't know why
Yeah,
he
it's
went
going
diving
straight
for
to
it.
Warner.
Yeah, it was going straight to Warner. So yeah, absolutely. What's interesting is I've been critical of Tim Paine's batting. I've never been critical of his wicket keeping. I thought he's been in for Australia. He's been absolutely sublime as a keeper. I've never really remembered him dropping at least 3 catches in one day. I think maybe one odd here and there.
That's
I do
true.
remember,
Yeah.
but he's been absolutely. Incredible for Australia behind the stumps, and in terms of captaincy as well after the turmoil that they had to deal with in 2018 and stuff like that. So this is surprising for me, for no doubt about it. But and I've been critical of his position. I think that they have to start thinking long and hard about if he deserves that spot in the team now. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, and word on his captaincy. Do you feel that, especially in the last session, if you noticed, there was a lot of shots like towards the rib cage where it was just falling short of short leg slip and everything like that. Do you think he should have just packed the fielders with catchers because you knew that Vihari's injured, they're not going to go for the win, and just surround the field with catchers that you hoping one ball pops up straight to the fielder?
Yeah, I think so. I think that there was a little bit of a negativity that had creeped in. That you could see that they were even trying to like with the sledging and with all that stuff that they were trying to do as well.
Mm.
You could tell that these guys were worried, and I think a couple of things just didn't go there in their favor. And Payne, I think he lost heart after a while. It just felt like he wasn't trying hard enough after a while. So I
Mm.
agree with you. I think
A
that
bit
in
more
terms of
aggressive.
captaincy as well, I thought there was a few things that he could write. Yeah, needed to be a little bit more aggressive. He needed to uh, uh, cheer his mates on, try to like try to like bring in a little bit more energy, especially after you come out of tea and you tried a few good overs, it didn't work out, you still have about 20, 25 overs left. Try to bring some energy and try to do something. I thought he lacked that a little bit today for sure. Yeah, I think that not a lot is going right for Tim Paine right now, and he's probably a little bit worried about that for sure.
Yeah, and before I quickly ask you about Brisbane, Steve Smith, I don't know if you saw the video. He was
Yeah, of course I did.
scratching the crease with his shoe. So I don't think that's illegal, but it might be against the spirit of the game. I don't know. But what are your thoughts on that? But I think yeah, it's not the most fair thing to do. But what are your thoughts on that? I think that it happens a lot. We saw the jelly bean incident also with Zair Khan,
I
like
think he's an
back in
absolutely
the day.
incredible batsman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's an incredible batsman. I think I don't know what it is with Steve Smith. I think he does it without realizing what he does. I don't know, because he's so into like playing cricket and trying to figure out he's shadow practicing all the time. So
But
maybe
I
he
think
was
he
just
knew what
doing
he was doing
something.
because he was shadow
I
practicing left-handed, and Rishabh Pant was batting. So I think he knew what he was good. Like I mean, it was a kind of cheeky kind of move.
It wasn't cool. I think yeah, I think whatever it wasn't cool.
Yeah,
So I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. I really don't know what to make of it. It's just
yeah.
that when the Aussies are when things are not going for them, they tend to make all these silly decisions and stuff like that, which you really can't comprehend sometimes. I don't know
Yeah.
what it is. I mean, yes, it's stupid. Spun's obviously going to be able to take his mark again and stuff, but
Yeah.
that's just really dumb. I don't know why you would do something
Yeah,
like that.
maybe also it creates that extra thing for the spinners as well. Like the if you keep putting your
Yeah,
studs in there.
a little bit of
So yeah, so I
fair
mean
enough.
I don't know if it's illegal or not, but I think it's just like it was just like a kind of tactic. But it does happen. We've seen it before in the past as well to try to distract the team or
Absolutely.
whatever. But yeah, and lastly, going to the Gabba Brisbane 4 Test match just confirmed. India are going. There's a lot of controversy. Are they going to go there? The bio bubble and everything like that. A lot of injuries. Again, Jadeja, a huge miss. India already with like so many injuries, but now I think they've come to a stage where whoever is fit. I think Ashwin also said that. I think Rahane just needs to look at the dressing room. Whichever 11 is fit, just bring them onto the field and let's play. I think that's what it is now for India.
It is going to be like that, I think. Unfortunately, though, I think Sahab comes in because I don't know if Punt can keep. That's an automatic choice. So I think
Yeah.
Sahab will be the replacement for Jaddu, and hopefully the others are able to pull through because nobody else is available. What are you going to do? Maybe if you really want to, if Punt is okay enough to keep, then you maybe try Mayank Agarwal at top. But that's about it. You don't have many other choices available
Is
in
Washington
the team
Sundar
at
still
this
there
moment
as
in
a
time.
net bowler?
I don't know. I don't know.
If he's
I
there, they
don't know,
might
but
try him. But yeah,
I don't think that they'll choose.
yeah, that's not gonna work.
It'd be a big gamble to try him because no real experience and stuff like that, and you probably want to shore up the batting a little bit. So if
Yeah.
Washington Sundar can he give you those 30-40 runs, I don't know if he can
Yeah,
at this
but
moment in time
but
against
you
an
wouldn't take the
Australian side.
you wouldn't take the risk in Ashwin batting in Jadeja's position and Kuldeep playing. You wouldn't take that risk, especially at the Gabba. It might not turn right that much.
Not really. No, I would go with that extra bowler, with that extra batsman just to shore it up. And if you notice, for the most part, the four main bowlers are usually your bowlers. You probably need a few. You need, let's say, 5 8 overs from another guy. You can probably just try Vihari for those 5 overs if needed. Like you don't really use Jaddu as much. Yes, Jaddu was incredible. It's great to have that kind of an option because he's an all-rounder, and we don't have any other all-rounder in the team, so you need a batsman. And if
Yeah.
Punt can't keep, that's a decision is already made. You want Saha instead of Punt, so I mean instead of Jaddu. So that's an easy decision to make. So yeah.
Yeah, I think
But looking forward to the game, the morale of the Indian team is high.
yeah.
The Australian team's probably not as high as they would like. So it'll be an interesting game going in. And hopefully, you know what, if we can nick that 2-1 victory with against all odds, without Virat Kohli and some of the other guys, Shami, Ishant, that would just be unbelievable.
Yeah, I
Look out
think
for Jasprit Bumrah. I just feel like that's going to be his game.
just Bumrah. Yeah, I mean, I felt that he was very unlucky in the third innings.
Of
A lot
course, he
of drop
dropped a
catches.
few drops from,
Yeah,
yeah.
you could see his pace also going down a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think he will come back strong. And just a really quick word. Sorry, I forgot to bring this up. About the racism topic. What happened there? Your
Yeah.
quick thoughts. Your quick thoughts on that. The racist. I think the right decision to throw out the people and like. I mean, there's no room for that in cricket.
Absolutely. I mean, unacceptable at all costs. There's absolutely no need for all of that. The Australians are the only few guys in the world that are lucky to actually watch live cricket. There's a lot of talk
Yeah,
about
that's
that
a
on
very
Twitter.
good
There are a
point.
few people that commented that. Yeah, so there's very few people in the world who are able to actually see live cricket or live sport in general, like in America, Canada, all these places. There's absolutely nothing going on, and
Yeah.
everything is going on, but you can only watch it on TV. But to go out there watch live, that's happening only in Australia, I think so, and maybe a couple other places. But that's a privilege that they shouldn't waste like this, and it's just
Yeah, I think
unfortunate.
that's a great point, and I think cricket also need to the cricket boards and the ICC need to take a stance like the Premier League and the NBA.
Yeah, right.
Like it's very clear, like on their broadcasting and everything, they say no to racism. They've stood with the Black Lives Matter movement and everything. So
Yeah,
I think it's very important for the ICC to take that step, and I think you're completely right. Like you have that opportunity, just to enjoy the game. Banter is fine, but
yeah,
racial abuse is not acceptable.
absolutely unacceptable at any cost for sure.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that wraps up this episode. It was unbelievable test match. I think it's probably the greatest draw that I've seen in my life. Like
Yeah,
personally, I think the Old Trafford Manchester Ashes when Ricky Ponting played that comes to mind. But
yeah.
apart from that, I think this was
Very
a
few, very few, very
yeah.
few. Hardly any, actually, if you
Yeah,
think about it.
I think this was great, and I didn't expect it with all the injuries, like you said. I think unbelievable performance by India, and looking forward to Brisbane. I'll catch you before that, man.
100% looking forward as well.
All right, take care.